All right, so we're wrapping up 2024, man. It is December, and I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a wide variety of layoffs going on this year across the country. I mean, I've seen a lot of layoffs in the transportation industry, the tech industry, the retail industry, food and beverage industry, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. I mean, literally, in my city, I seen an article last week where Big Lots and Party City will be laying off employees. Party City is actually filed bankruptcy. They were over $1 billion in debt. Closing up shop, man. So I definitely want to send blessings out to those individuals who may be in that situation and experiencing a layoff with those two companies. Also, for everybody else who experienced a layoff this year, I want to send blessings to you as well. I want to talk about getting a new job in 2025 and avoiding the money mistakes. I know in one of my recent videos, I think my most recent video, I touched briefly on my experience in trucking, particularly pertaining to my first two trucking jobs. And I talked about the increase in salary that I experienced from my first job to my second job, right? I literally doubled my income. And if you're in that situation going into 2025, there are a lot of you watching right now that's going to be transitioning into a new job. You may be able to double or triple your salary depending on what job you have at the current moment. When you get that new job, do yourself a favor. Don't increase your living expenses with your earnings. Remember, I talk about this all the time on my channel. I like to throw out numbers. So 66% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That includes those who are making six figures. Over 50% of Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings account to cover an emergency expense. All right. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear those numbers, that makes me nervous. And it really gives me a sense of awareness. And it's sort of a reminder to tell myself and really make a mental note of, like, look, I don't want to be a part of those statistics. So in order for me to not be in that category, I have to be disciplined with my finances. So I have to be intentional about saving and investing, and also not spending more money on liabilities and spending more money in buying assets. That's the name of the game. Now, I think it's normal and it's natural for someone, when they start to make more money, automatically, I think something just kind of clicks in your mind to say, okay, now that I'm making more money, now I can afford to go buy this thing, whatever that thing is, whether it's a car, a newer, bigger house, some more clothes, whatever it is, right? We just have a tendency to spend more when we make more. I want you guys to keep in mind that just because you're making more money, if you find yourself in that situation, that doesn't mean you have to spend more money. You have a lot more money to save and invest when you don't have the expenses, right? So if you're living a lifestyle where your expenses is low, let's just say you have a lifestyle where you're able to live your life on a $50,000 a year salary, and you still have money to save and invest right now, right? You may not have a lot, but you have enough money to save and invest, okay? Let's just say next year, 2025, you get a job paying $80,000. That's a pretty substantial amount of money that you have at your disposal where you can really do some damage in the saving and investing category if you're intentional about it and if you're disciplined and if you have delayed gratification. You have to be able to say no to a lot of things that could potentially eat away at your net worth. If that's the goal, you'll find yourself in a pretty good financial situation at the end of the year. I know a lot of people are going to be getting some higher paying jobs in 2025. Listen, statistics show that it's much more likely for you to get a higher pay increase by changing jobs rather than staying at your current employer and waiting on a pay raise. I wouldn't have been able to double my income had I stayed at my first trucking job. There's no way I could have made that type of money. It would have took me a very long period of time to make what I made in a short amount of time, 4 months to be exact, which is how long I stayed at my first trucking job. So I was able to double my income in a span of 4 months. Think about the average time that it takes for you to get a pay raise. It's usually about 6 months or so, right? So I was very fortunate enough to be able to have that opportunity, to take advantage of that opportunity and land in a good spot. A lot of you guys are going to find yourself in the same position to where you're able to take advantage of those type of opportunities. Stay focused and stay smart. Understand what you have and don't take it for granted. Listen, at the end of the day, I can't tell you guys how to spend your money. I just want you guys to be conscious of what I'm saying right now, and hopefully this plays back in your mind when you do land that good job to where you now are making more money. Of course, it's okay to treat yourself here and there, but depending on your financial goals, you really need to sit back and think about where you're allocating your funds to. Remember, at the end of the day, when you work for somebody else, anything can happen. There's always a lot of uncertainty out there in the market. So be smart about how you spend your money. Last time I checked, the unemployment rate was around 4.2%. So it's a little bit higher than it was in 2023. We'll see what 2025 looks like in terms of the unemployment rate. Be smart. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Also diversify. A lot of times we use that term diversification in the investing world, but I also think you should diversify your jobs, meaning you should have more than one source of income. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, side hustle, maybe you have some other type of skill set that you can monetize to bring in more income, or maybe it is a second job, who knows? But diversify your income. Listen, man, that's all I got for you guys for today. And until the next one, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.